some sound. There we go. Hello, and fourth week. Welcome to the fourth week that we're trying this. Hopefully it will go okay. Hopefully you can hear me. I guess if I turn towards the microphone, you can hear me better. And yeah, let's get started. So rainy, cold, and a rainy week in Osaka this week. So yeah, I think my shoes and socks have been wet all week. So better get some new shoes. But yeah. So pretty terrible weather. Hope things are better where you are. I know a lot of people have had terrible weather where they are. So let's start. Up. I guess Photoshop is behaving. I think that's good. I was having some weird lag issues. Yeah, good. Looks like everything is going well. So, what's going? Still, I don't think that's happened for a while, but glass-lined thermoses. Big metal thermoses with a glass line inside, I guess, making it easy to clean or something. That probably doesn't exist. Still big work thermoses. I've seen those, but I want to find. Oh, so yeah, I've been doing October this year for the first time, kind of consistently. I think in previous years I posted one or two, but haven't stuck with it. But I've been working on ideas for the next issue of the Citizen Spaceman comic. So it's all been drawings of Spaceman, and I'm using the Japanese Furia pen, the kind of brush pen, black ink brush pens. They have many different styles here for just doing the formal writing on addresses, cards, or anything. So for formal writing of kanji, use the brush pen to give you the variation of the line and line width. But for people that don't write kanji, they are very great pens. Yeah, there's a great variety of them, and they're fun pens to experiment drawing with because they have a really nice variety of them, and they have beautiful lines, and they have amazing variation in line thickness and some interesting line work. Really enjoy playing with those. They some companies kind of come and go making, like I think Muji occasionally makes some, but they're pretty disposable. They don't last very long. They make a few kinds that have replaceable ink, but like Pilot pens and manufacturers make disposable. Yeah, there's a types and brush styles. The longer, thicker, you can get variation of line, and write bigger, and then very small. Because there's some instances where you're writing dresses or things that very fine lines. That's the thing that you really notice in Japan at the stationery stores. The pens themselves get down to the millimeter width, get really tiny. Just your regular writing pens, because I guess there is a lot of requirement to make very thin lines. Because if you're writing anything, maybe in a notebook or too small, I mean, to actually kanji readable, those the width of the line has to be insanely. They make very thin pen width It's here for ballpoint pen, felt tip pens. You can get some really, really. Uh, yeah, but the brush pens are really nice. They're really play with and to find to find something you like. And just about every time I find one that I like, I can't find it again or they stop me. That's another interesting thing about, and I don't know if it's the trendiness or kind of the on an island, kind of the limitation of resources or availability of things, because you're importing a lot of materials for things. It really seems like things come and go very quickly. As soon as you're used to something, it's gone. And there's a bit of that kind of built into the culture because of seasons. Because seasonal change, seasonal are very popular. I think that people really like the kind of change of season, change of Because of course there's a lot of cultural meaning, significance, especially in historical times in Japan. But I think it still exists today. They enjoy the changing seasons, and I think all of Japan, except for Okinawa, has the 4 seasons, so you get to enjoy changing leaves and flowering trees and snow, everything. And so that's built in, but it does seem like things just disappear as soon as you find something that you like. They just stop making it, and I don't know if it's based on raw numbers or just mentality. And so if you would say Americans have this tendency to go too big with things and be excessive and wasteful and supersize everything and live in too large of a house and air condition their closets and garages. I think what you could say about Japan is that um, it's always changing. I mean, staying the same. And even though I think the culture doesn't change very fast or people's thinking doesn't change all that fast here, just kind of the trends of things and the popular kinds of food, so the popular restaurants changes very quickly and disappear, or you can even find them again. Just a few times, like a few times a year that I go to Tokyo, parts of the city, something is different every single time. Go back, so it's kind of constantly shifting. And I guess that may be true of most big cities. I really seem to notice. And of course, the stores. If you find something you like or find a snack or something, unless it's one of the really standard, really classic kind of they've always been making or have brought back for some reason, chances are you're going to have trouble finding it again, and they're going to have trouble in stock. It's amazing how fast things come and go at those shops, and it really makes you fearful, during some sort of natural disaster or some kind of national crisis, how quickly the shelves will be emptied of all food and supplies because it's so yeah, it is really limited, how things are stocked, and just even the grocery stores seem to be run like convenience stores where they're receiving deliveries every day and they're constantly stocking their shelves because things are constantly um, so that becomes a little strange and a little worried. Yeah, things move and things change really fast. I don't know what is going on here. It's a very unique kind of feeling. I guess though I haven't lived before in those areas. Yet people kind of rushing to grocery stores and clearing off the shelves, because of like hurricanes or natural disasters. So I have a lot of experience with that, but it does seem pretty precarious here. To try to find some water after an earthquake in Japan. That might be a heck of a thing. Very stumpy up. So, so let's see. Yeah, so Inktober. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see. I don't think I've actually acquired any more people following me on. I think it's basically Instagram and Twitter. Maybe Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook that I'm posting on. I think that's it. I'm getting it following me, but people are liking things, favoriting. It's interesting that the diversity of people putting their work out on. But I guess that's true of the internet. It's amazingly diverse and quite a range of styles and ability. Yeah, so it's definitely inspirational. There's some people just amazing line work in it, touch, and then there's just a lot of people derivative stuff. Hopefully, hopefully they're young. I'm assuming most of them are very young. They will find their way, but would advise against copying only as a means to an end. The shortest time possible, unless unless that's what you want to do is just be a commercial illustrator where you're just aping styles. Kind of mercenary in that way, where you can kind of copy anybody's technique or copy quality of anyone's line, because that's definitely a marketable skill. I think but in animation and commercial illustration, especially for like product goods designs and stuff, if you're really good at copying people's styles, I think it work pretty steadily. But as far as your personal work, figure out doing as soon as possible and start doing it. Yeah, just not a big fan of the everything looking like secondhand manga style. But it's very interesting here. There's, of course, everyone probably knows there's the huge amateur comics. Here there's so many people books on an amateur level, and the technical ability of a lot of these people is just amazing. Wonder why they're not working professionally, because they make really good looking stuff and we're capable of it, but then at the same time, you have no idea how long it took them to draw that one book, and they could actually produce at maintain quality at a certain level and they work professionally. But they seem to be very happy and can create a pretty decent fan base and have a pretty decent following just producing amateur level. But I'm really astounded by the technical level of most of the amateur artists in Japan. And I'm not sure if it's because they have to learn a pretty cumbersome, complicated pictographic language, so that they're writing in pictures, and quality of a line, quality of stroke is important when writing. That they all kind of naturally are trained to be decent artists, to have much better control for line, and because there is kind of this established vocabulary manga of happy, sad, all this kind of shorthand showing things. It seems like people, and really, there's a lot of great cartoonists here that are just never going to be cartoonists because they're accountants or whatever. But anytime you see people little drawings or little characters, it's pretty amazing and very expressive, and because they have that manga language acquired as kids from just reading comic books, they can really express things well and have very fun, very entertaining drawing, and not even have any interest in doing it. So doing it, yeah, that's very impressive, and I noticed that a lot. Almost anybody that just go to video stores or cafes or whatever, if someone has to draw a little sign or a little note and the character on it, they're usually really cute and really entertaining. So there's like this base level of kind of cute drawing or kind of expressive, entertaining drawing that people have just basically because they spent so much time learning, right? Possibly. It seems like it really starts to get coded in that way. It's very interesting. Um, it's just something that I noticed that I see pretty high level creativity in just very basic, very basic ways. Just people writing on paper coffee cups or notes for customers. Uh, a lot of expression in that. I think that's yeah, that's all right. So are we sticking with Halloween? What are we doing this week? I don't know how much Halloween I've got in me. What else is? Hmm. Oh, one thing I noticed I haven't tried in a while. Greasy fast food. Oof. That's favorite kind of go to objects when I didn't have any better idea. Hmm. Let's see. Bag of fast food. And that's one thing that really amazes how the fast food chains have just been able to occupy the entire globe. I think you would have trouble escaping any sort of developed urban area that didn't have some brand of fast food, some fast food available. I think that's amazing. That's really staggering. It shows how powerful that infrastructure is that those companies built as far as the relationships with farming and everything else, and it's all over the world making people nice and fat. And but yeah, that pervasiveness is pretty amazing. A lot of times it's funny if you're traveling international airports. It's kind of the first thing that you encounter is those same familiar brands all over again. They that everywhere, and I really think that's a funny statement on in nature because I think a lot of people don't think, um, oh, yum, McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. They don't think, oh, this is delicious. I can't wait to have this. They think, oh, I know that. The familiarity is so powerful. And I think I even heard someone describe that as part of McDonald's success is it's just insanely predictable. It may not be delicious, but you know exactly how it's going to taste, so there's no surprise. So when you're in an unfamiliar setting, when you're someplace that you may not be familiar with, it does become this strange comfort food because you know that they're going to be able to, regardless of geography, they're going to be able to reproduce that same greasy meat that you had as a kid or anywhere all around the world. So it's a it's a very strange thing. It's a very strange approach, and it's amazing that it's so successful and that they're also able to you know, in foreign cultures, they're able to build that into experience that people find some way that they relate to a burger place, to a fast food place, and go there based on that familiarity or that comfort. They're able to, yeah, they're able to up that so successfully. They start having these brand relationships, and I don't really think it's the food. I think it's just that they become familiar with it, part of a familiar interaction. So do it. They do it out of habit. Because I can just remember going to school in Chicago and how to go someplace interesting for lunch or go someplace good, you'd have to pass so much fast food. And sometimes if you're at a time where you're tired, you just give uh, in that giant line happens during the lunch. That was always so pressing and soul crushing. Just opted for that burger and fries. Yeah, been a while. That's the nice thing, even though it's all over Japan. I eat a lot less fast food, so much less tempting. And since I'm not so car based here, the temptation of the drive through, yeah, that's been a benefit. Being able to avoid all sorts of things really makes a big difference. Surprised. Yeah, as far as talking about franchises or chain restaurants, I'm very surprised how successful Starbucks has been in Japan. Because there's a lot of coffee shops, but I guess it's not that surprising because actually Starbucks is more counter to the kind of coffee most Americans drink. It's a different style of coffee than most Americans drink compared to Japanese because the coffee shops here have always been European, or, French style, so darker roasts or more European or Italian style coffee was probably something that was imported here first, and not the cafe americano, the weak watery coffee that that most Americans. So I guess yeah, as far as it being different, it's actually different from American style coffee that they already had here. But I'm still so surprised how crowded Starbucks is in Japan, and you can't smoke in Starbucks. So they have kind of they import their same rules that they have in the US. That maybe it might add to the flavor of it. The same rules in the U.S. As in the U.S. But yeah, it's very surprising to me. But I guess no more surprising than the success of the iPhone. And I was pretty much here for that whole thing to happen. And when still in cell phones with the phone or the clamshell phones or the candy bar style phones, it was all Japanese brands. They didn't import anything, and Motorola, none of the foreign companies could make much. Nokia, nobody was really here in Japan any big way, and they may have been protecting the market or whatever, but they had not a lot of competition, just Japanese brands, and everybody was their Japanese phones. And then once the smartphone thing happened, you started to see iPhones, and maybe the brand trendiness or whatever helped to take off. But iPhone is really pervasive here, and I think it's interesting that they stuck with that odd, tiny style they have as long as they have, and it works really well for most Japanese customers. So yeah, I think that's a funny thing that they were so successful. Still kind of exist here as a lot of people's first choice. I I rarely, I mean, it's almost, uh, yeah, I'm surprised a lot of times to see Japanese people with Android phones because so pervasive. It's funny because I think it was a a big change. I guess though yeah, maybe they took advantage of that change from the CAD based entry, and they were smart enough with how they made their virtual keyboard. It wasn't too much of a switch, and it didn't hurt very bad. Oh right, there's that fast food. Uh, yeah, maybe we'll go with it for. See how it's looking here. Look at that fast food. Bill talked about this. Straw tea bag. Wow. So let's color on this. I think streaming session has gotten longer and longer every time I've done it. So try to rein stuff in and make some faster decisions because I think I run out of energy and it may not be that interesting to watch after a while. So expedient. Yeah, I guess work. All right. Let's see. Thing I use. Eric branding. I don't know where the branding comes from. For chef or something. I'm trying to figure out where this color comes. Going back to uh, let's see. Right. Hmm. Wouldn't be fast food. Got some greasy stain inside of it. There we go. Lighten that up. I guess it should actually go over the bag right there. Yeah, that's the problem with bring food in areas you process where it starts to its way through the bag. Still like exactly what every time I draw fast food or it's draw up greasy little marks all over the bag. Wow. That's that. Yeah, so fast food is every I can imagine how far you have to go or what you have to get away from it. What are the kinds of places that haven't had contact from people and with people? So I'm sure anywhere there are cars, there's somebody goes kind of drawing around the microphone if you're doing this in such a strange way. And a microphone table to try to, make it sound, make it more clear, sound more. Um, yeah, the one thing I figured out, I got the pattern on the microphone not picking up the keyboard so badly, so you don't hear that loud key tapping sound every time. Changing tool or adjusting the size. Brush. I hope that's for a bit. That works better because I think it was the second week streaming. That was oof. That was really bad. I apologize for that, but anything was better than that first week where I'm talking away from a webcam microphone and just totally being broken up in the stream. That was yeah, there wasn't much to listen with that. And let me know. I took the first two mostly because as a test because the audio wasn't great. Took the first 2 weeks and time lapsed them like by put them up like 600%. Just did a speed drawing version of them, and let me know if that's something that's more interesting, or you prefer to have that version as opposed to style rambling version. I'm not sure what would be more interesting or more useful, but let me know if you liked that, and I can posting that second version of these videos for people that don't have an hour to sit and listen to this and watch this slow progress happen. Uh, Dramatic backlighting. All right, so let's turn the green back on and maybe red. It's to down a little. So it looks more like it's printed. Always a to look and some of these. Yeah, this has been really a great habit to get into. Just the drawing, yeah, drawing. Yeah, has really been nice. Kind of keep things more predictable, and yeah, kind of add something a little bit to these drawing sessions. I'm sure some of it gets a little tedious, and some of it's really hard to find a balance between how much to talk and how much to draw because it's hard to do both. I think a lot of people that draw online probably they're doing audio recorded afterwards because it is so concentration breaking. Try to have an interesting or somewhat entertaining conversation where you focus on pretty, pretty distracting. But I hope there's enough of a balance. I hope it's interesting enough to listen to, interesting to watch, just enough that the combination of the two works. Time will tell. All right. Wow. A little bit of on that. Assuming a wax cup. Highlight brightness. There we go. All right. So we have a condensation cup. Oh, okay. There we go. Works for one. Some little eyes on there. Uh, all right. I play. Oh, there we go. There's a happy little. Uh, what to do with that? I just like the. I didn't have a big idea. I just liked how the drawing was looking, and it had been a while. A little fast food bag, nice and wrinkly. Seep through. Let's see here. Let's see what. I'm just doing bottles. Yeah, let's change bottles. Oh, these are all. Hmm. Yeah, thermoses. All right. Oh, so let's see here. Should we fast food and yeah, because there's just not so much Halloween kind of special way. I haven't really been inspired by anything particularly from the holiday. It's pretty minimal. It's just bakeries and stationery shops and a little bit of Halloween. Wow. Oh wow. So we're already 3 minutes in. Oh yeah. I'll try to really keep this to about an hour or so. Yeah, because I don't know if I have more than I don't think I have a couple of hours of things to say every week, so I might not get that. But yeah, so and hopefully I can kind of start expanding things. Have some other people to talk to while it's making it interesting. Somebody in a window and have a little conversation while I'm drawing instead of just talking to myself. I don't know. I mean, let me know if that sounds interesting or sounds like something that would make this more fun to watch. Otherwise, yeah, yeah, but we'll see how that. Yeah, somebody I would love to talk to while streaming RC Harvey's website for wow, almost 20 years. Next year it will be 20 years that we're doing RC Harvey. Yeah, he would just be wonderful to talk about. Lots of stories and experiences in the comic book and cartooning world, and it would be really fun to kind of just have a chat with him. And that might even be something that would be good for his website as well, is to do kind of a weekly stream or chat. I've been trying to bug him to do a podcast throughout the years, but we've never kind of figured out logistically how that would work. But I think if we just kind of a webcam and some turn Skype on, that would that would be a fun stream. That would be a watch and or to listen. So yeah, so hopefully something like that. Sure. And if you haven't seen, or haven't read any of R.C. Harvey's writings, you should visit his site. I'll put the link in this stream. Once it's saved, once it's archived. Take a look. Really great. His writing's really great, and yeah, enjoyable. Like comics and cartooning and even animation in the business and Comic Con. So yeah, it's really. But I guess I'm a little not very objective. A little jaded. I really I love his stuff and I love his writing. So that's why I've been helping it get online for all these years. Right. So no miss is going anywhere. Let's see. What else to do? Hmm. All right. So yeah, what were we talking about? The ever changing trends, snacks and everything, seasonal and trendy at the same time. So that means things turn over faster than you can. Yeah, so let's keep at it here. Oh, go. Uncontinued. Where? Oof. Yeah. Highway, I don't know if you can hear it right outside the building, has a constant construction. It's 2 months, so really noisy. And it's so busy that they start the construction around night, I'm sure. Everybody that lives in it really enjoying the gas lines or whatever they're doing and then resurfacing all the sidewalks and streets and everything. It's but hopefully that's over soon. I think they got to spend all their tax money this year and that same money next year. So put it all over. Yeah, it's really been noticeably odd work they've been doing in one block stretch of city. Okay, there's the box open. Hmm. That tall, not tall, that bar shaped cracker box. And yeah. Yeah, I don't even think more crackers string box. Look at that. I don't even think that's made. So the string is your handle for carrying the box, and the box looks like a car, like a cage box cars on this train. Let's see. Yeah, so I was just thinking about snacks, like novelty snacks and boxes, sorts of things. All right. What else are we doing? Yeah, I don't. I think I've done this before. Yeah, I think I've said that in previous streams. Everything I draw, every idea feels like I've already done by myself. You know, cartoons, nothing feels like eating myself. It's very funny. Then I'll go back and look at the catalog of cartoons, and it's not there. Like I haven't done it before. It just feel oddly familiar. It's my or have a lot of range, so I feel like saying or what I want to say is very similar. But yeah, that's what happens a lot. As I just feel like I can't run that. The only thing that I have found that I draw repeating Starbucks paper cup with cardboard sleeve. Definitely drawn that. Just because that's so iconic. It's kind of fast food, coffee stuff. Keep going there. But animal crackers. Yeah, there's definitely animal crackers somewhere. Previous animal cracker. So do they still make yellow wafers or vanilla? Shortbreads? Odd little. I haven't seen those in a while. I haven't seen a lot of cookies in a while. Basically, we have some Nabisco products. Whoever Nabisco is now, whoever owns Nabisco, there's some Nabisco products in it. It's funny, recently there was kind of a shakeup. I guess a few months ago, the Japanese bakery that had the license, or whatever whatever you need to bake certain brands of cookies, the Japanese bakery company that was producing Nabisco, so Oreos and Ritz crackers in Japan lost the deal or gave up the deal, and so now all of Japan's Nabisco cookies are baked in factories in Southeast Asia, maybe Vietnam, somewhere, and they're a little bit different. And I think it's funny because immediately that company kind of rushed a replacement, and maybe that brand already existed and opted to both, but now there's a Japanese Ritz style cracker, Oreo style cracker that I don't know existed previously, but as soon as they lost that license, they appeared They're a little bit different, and I even noticed the not the quality, but well, I guess the quality, the consistency of the crackers a little bit different. They're a little bit over, not quite the same. But yeah, I thought that was funny, exciting. Yeah, I can't imagine how large these regional fits are. Things into certain markets and these kind of precarious deals, especially Japan and the way they protect domestic reserves. To be yeah, that works. Wow, fast food and cookies. Bright yellow box. Boom. So maybe yeah, that works. That side. Right. There's some joke about the shape of this. Oh, that that works. All right. Oh my chair. The first time I was working on recording drawing session, was trying to talk and trying to do something while working, and just couldn't maintain. Just too distracting and really hard to say anything interesting. Then I went back and edited audio to try to condense it, but I had talked so much about what I was physically on the screen that it was just crazy, confusing. I had that stuff had to stay in sync, but I also wanted to edit out the brain kind of drone of it. That was that was very difficult. I think just recording, just doing this live is probably the better, even though it's going to have kind of irregular results. Hopefully, uh, just the yeah streaming of it and kind of the conversational tone. I'm not trying to script out anything, or hopefully whatever kind of occurs to me while I'm drawing will be contained. Bars on the tiger walking around back. Hmm. They still make record, record. That same little box, circus train box, because I guess, goes to the circus. I don't think the circus is quite quite as popular as novelty circus theme. But that's an interesting change. Circuses and clowns, have such an association. Kids, entertainment, but are changed about. Yeah, maybe that. Our opinions have changed about the cruelty on at circuses, so I don't think it's as popular or kind of entertainment that it once was. And the same thing with, I think, they they just remade it. Clown, Stephen King killer clown story, and yeah, you realize that I think clowns have, since the retirement of Bozo, basically been staple uh, horror films, but not really kids entertainment. I kind of lost that status. I lost that status a while back, and it's fun to think about why that is. So we have a lot of things. I think like a lot of cartoon characters that now fill the role of clown. So maybe it's not so necessary that type. Like we don't need to identify specifically that type of character as kind of a buffoonish nonsense. We get our entertainment, kind of comedy from a lot of other sources. So culturally, clowns have lost that status as the only kind of purveyors of nonsense and kind of foolish behavior. But yeah, clowns and circuses, that was constantly a theme. Remember, yeah, when I was a kid, fairly common as far as on birthday cakes and things. I never saw a clown at a birthday party, but yeah, they definitely still kind of thought of it. Sounds yeah, that's the thing I think difficult if you went into clowning at a certain point to realize that this grade, it's just a creepy thing. Lost that audience. Off. Uh, elephants, camels, tigers. I can't. A lot of them were barely recognized. Oh, frosted animal crackers. That's the thing. Yeah, some pink frosting on these bad boys, and there you go. That's a snack. This is that plane kind of circus train car. Oh, oh, that's there. Right there. I know one of the relics of the past. Circuses and yeah, it would be interesting to see if there was some way that came back. That became. I don't know. I just there's a. I think that the image of the traditional clown, the traditional circus clown, has been so usurped by horror movies. I think you'd have a good time making zombies lovable kids character than you would clowns at the murderous clowns. All right. Mixture. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I hope the sound is okay. I'm love to see the mic is a lot louder than it was in previous recordings, so hopefully that sounds better and doesn't distort or anything. Find out. And I think hopefully live sounds better. This may sound better live than it actually archived because it's compressed pretty badly. Recording is pretty decent quality. The smaller webcam I think is 720 streaming itself. Hopefully. Let's it up. Nice and crummy. Oh. Yeah, so yeah, I haven't talked at all about how I set up these files, but it's very basic. I always have one layer set to kind of a shadow, kind of a shading. When I'm doing all this rendering, it's just set to 20%. I just do straight black and white on top of that to render over color. So I just do the flat kind of color tones. And then on a layer above it, just some simple shading. Just at 20%. Just at 20%, just to volume for these silly drawings. And hopefully it works. Hopefully. Enough rendering is going on. That like harsh directional shadow that well. Hmm. Oh yeah. I definitely remember eyes on animal records. This has definitely happened. So I can go back and find out what that was. So as long as I don't write the exact same joke, I guess I guess that works. All right, so what are we at? Oh, I'm hour 10, so a little bit better than last time. I think I was almost 2 hours last time. So let's go back and, first, write some jokes. All right, so there's these and our delicious meal. That bag, the bag is very wrinkled. It's cold, very low. All right. All right. Let's make money. I guess to that point that yeah, I think the familiarity. Um, felt it was more important. Felt was more important, familiar than delicious. That's kind of where I was going with that whole conversation. That yeah, success of those companies is just that they're ever present and know exactly what you're getting. Not your favorite thing in the world. But more important, they felt it was important to be delicious. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Kind of a boring idea for a boring drawing. Gonna do. Hey, maybe let's put some bag shadow up. Ooh, there we go. That changes it. There we go. They felt it was more important to be familiar than delicious. See, that sounds exactly like something I've written before. But let's see. I have that feeling every single. And I think we're cruelty angle. That's a pretty plain thing to do with animal crackers. I think. Uh, cookie jokes. All right. So let's see. Uh, this again. As opposed to animal shapes and the it's a round cookie. Representation. Yeah, this. Yeah, I'm surprised. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me if an animal rights actually protested animal crackers. I'm sure that's a thing. That almost sounds like I've already animal rights groups do animal shaped cookies. Hmm. I don't think it's going to get better than that. As opposed to animal shapes and the. It's not. Cracking me. But it's not. Sit for another 45 minutes. Something funnier. Yeah, shorter is probably better. Always. He was opposed to animal shapes and their animal shapes, and specifically targeting them. And the little half bit off cookie brings that home. Oh, see that bite. Not that anybody's going to see that the resolution. Cartoon at 2. My nose ended up too much here. All right, so he opposed the animal shapes and the. Oh, okay. So he was. Oh, maybe let's change this around a little bit. Funnier. Opposed to. Longer. Supposed to the crew represent shapes. He was shapes. Maybe it's funnier. Of an afterthought. Hopefully that looks enough like a box of crackers. What is going? That's what I think risk. That is unrecognizable, but and maybe more. All right. He was opposed to animal shapes and the cruelty they. Ooh. Almost missed it. They represent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm making this 2 lines. There. Shapes and spot. Okay, there we go. He was opposed to their animal shapes and the corresponding. So corresponding. Okay, let's try that. He was opposed to their animal shapes and the corresponding. Corresponding as meaning elephant, crow, tiger. I don't know. Yeah, so I'll have to go for my old Animal Cracker cartoon. See if I told the exact same. He was opposed to their animal shapes and the corresponding. It felt it was more important to be familiar than just, oh, I think I've written that before. But I guess we'll find out. Let me know. All right, so hour 20 of amazing talking and drawing. So let's move this over here. So thanks again for joining me. And if you are just finding this stream, please take a look at the archive on the Abuse Cartoons channel. So this is the 4th week, so there's 3 previous sessions if you want to listen to more rambling about cartooning, creativity, and Japan. So until next week, thanks, and see you again.